Hi and good evening. Welcome to another episode of Gaming with The Sims. I'm Charles Sims. Tonight we're going to be looking at Munchkin, the card game. It's a nice 3 to 6 player game, which can be either very quick or very long. Well, it's not too long. Game depending on how people manage to stop other people from winning. And it can, depending on card combinations, it can be quicker. I've got a copy of the Marvel Munchkin, however all Munchkin games do play the same way, and you can combine different games together to be like one bigger game. So this is my copy, Marvel Munchkin. I am a big Marvel fan, so I've gone for the Marvel version of it. And the box here, this is the inside of the box, is split up. So you've got your big character reference cards here in one place. These are double-sided. They are the same rules both sides. One's male, one's female, however. We've got treasure gets kept in one box. One side of it, divided. So we've got the treasure deck. And finally, in this last box, we've got the kick the door deck, so the monster deck. On the cards, these cards which I showed before, you do get counters to move around to show which level you are, and you also get a dice, like so. For the Marvel dice, the symbol is on the 1, it is the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. symbol, which was quite nice. However, it's on the 1, not the 6, so some people prefer the symbols on the 6. So with that, we're going to change it to look at the table to see what everything is going on. So this is a sample of the cards you get in the box. So we've just got them laid out here because we're just doing a talk through the game. So as you can see, there are the different cards. For this, the 6 different agent cards all have different abilities on. I'm not going to read them out for you because they do vary between everything. So all of them are double-sided, as I mentioned earlier, and you randomise these at the start of the game. So shuffle and deal 1 randomly to each player. You've got enough counters for 1 for each card. The idea of it is you start on level 1 and you've got to get to level 10 to win the game. There are ways in the game to change gender. Sometimes there are traps played against you, so you can't always prepare for it. And there are some cards which benefit females and some cards which benefit males. So it doesn't make a difference at the start of the game what you go for. So we're going to look through the treasure cards to start with. Treasure cards can be ways to get straight level ups. I did see at the new Games Workshop Munchkin, and one of the cards for a level up there is to get a nice paint job. So they have like played on their own strengths. Other cards in here is you get ally cards. You're allowed 1 ally at the start of the game, but there is ways to get extra allies. You also can have in Marvel equipment. Now you can have 1 headgear equipment. You get a headgear symbol there. You can have 1 armour, and the armour symbols there. You can have 1 set of footgear, and again you've got a foot there. And then for arms, you can either have 2 single hand weapons, so this is like a single hand weapon with 1 hand there, or you can actually have 2-handed weapon, which has 2 hands. So when it says 2-hand weapons, it doesn't mean you get to double it. It means you can have 2 separate hand weapons. So you might have like a Stark Tech, which is War Machine's rocket arms, and then you might have Captain America's shield, which I've seen happen. So you do get areas. Items like here you do get benefits for having certain things. So this is, you get extra level like attack if you've got if you're allies with spider friends, or that's your affiliation. Or we've got an Avenger one here. In the Marvel game you have 3 affiliations. You have Inhumans, you have Avengers, and you've got Spider Friends. There are ways, like this card here, so you can have 2 affiliations if you want, but you can just have 1 affiliation or no affiliation. We'll come on to the affiliations later on in the video. So all of it all on this side, other than power up, have your basic bonus here to help your attack, but then at the bottom you might get extra ways to do it. You'll also notice on item cards like this, we've got gold cost at the bottom, but allies don't. So the equipment, which are like D6, here is, you've got ways to sell your cards. Areas might say you might have to sell so much worth of your cards, or you can just sell your cards for levels. The higher level you are, the more strong you are, so you can go against the bigger monsters. For every 1,000 you sell, you get 1 level. If you sell 1,100, you do not get any change, but if you can make it up to 2,000, you do get 2 levels. So it's every full 1,000 you sell at once, you do get a level when selling that way. You can, however, only sell on your turn for levels. There are other ones, like I've pulled this one out, like Nick Fury's eye patch. This is a headgear, but it also says at the bottom you can equip another headgear, so you can change certain items into others. When you play an item, you can have as many, like you can carry as many like headgears as you want, but you can only ever use one. So when you have your cards next to your character sheet, if you've got 2 headgears out, you just flip one like that on its side, so that you aren't using that one. You can rearrange what you've got equipped and unequipped at any time. So don't worry. You do have a hand size of 5, however, so sometimes it's better having them out on the table. However, if they're out on the table, they could get stolen, or you could have to lose them by other means. So there is that to watch out for. There are also, what I haven't got out of here, cards called one-shots. So one-shots are the other type of card you can get from the treasure deck. They're like this. So they're single-use, one-time only cards. These you do count in your hands. So it could be this one I pulled out, for instance, is cancel a trap. So if somebody plays a trap on you, or you draw a trap, you can cancel it. There are other ones which gives somebody a bonus. It could be just like add 5, or it could double your attack. They do vary, and they all have money on them as well, so you can sell them for levels. So if we can go into the monster / kick the door deck, these are the type of cards you can come out of it. So at the bottom here you've got your 3 affiliations. Affiliations are good, but they're also bad. So certain monsters might get stronger against you because you're that affiliation, but affiliations might mean certain things can get better. Like Avengers is, you can have a second ally or an additional ally, and then you get +2 bonus when you're in combat with a monster of at least 10 or and higher. So they normally have like 2 abilities, and it depends. On team up, you can have 2 affiliations, or you can just have 1. If you have 1, you get all the positives of an ally, but you get no negatives. So if there is a card which says it's +5 levels, if it's against an Avenger, if you've only got Avengers out and you've got a team up, you don't have to take that negative, you just get the positives from the text. But if you have a team up with 2, you get both positives, but you also get both negatives. Other cards you get from here, you get power cards. Power cards is, you can have any number of power cards, but the power rating can't be higher than your level here. So this one is power 2, power rank 2, so you have to be at least level 2 to be able to use it. If you're level 1 and you've got allies, it doesn't make a difference. It's these levels here which allows you to use it. So when you get to level 5, you can play a level 2 rank and a level 3 rank, and it's all good because of both combined aren't higher than your level. Cheat card, you can use it with any item. Now it specifically says item, so it's one of like these cards here, where you can cheat an extra one into the game. So if you've already got 2 hand weapons in, you can cheat another 2 hand weapon in, or you can cheat an extra armor, fee, or helmet. Any item really, you can cheat an extra one in. That also comes from this. Now we've said it is a monster deck or door deck, so there are villains or monsters to go in. There's 2 types. There's the normal ones and there's the bosses. So the bosses are slightly harder, but you get 2 levels at the bottom, and it will say 2 levels. Any which doesn't say how many levels, you always get 1 per one you defeat. So if you get 3 monsters in front of you and you kill all 3, you'll get 1 level for each. So be careful if you're using wandering monsters to throw more monsters at somebody to try and make them lose. You could accidentally give them more levels. And at the bottom, it'll also say how many treasure you get. So when you defeat it, you get to draw a number of treasure equal to the number. They have a level here, which says you always have to beat the level. If you draw it, it means the monster will win. So you've got to be higher than the level to win. The level is always your level here, plus any bonuses you get. Adds up to it. The yellow text here means there's ways for it to get stronger. So this one is, I'll get my phone just to help. So when that gets played down, like so, it gets stronger for every electronic device on the table. I played it the other day and somebody had the rules book covering their phone, and I was like, yay, it's only a level 6, there's no electronic devices on it. And then they read it and they went, oh no, look, we've got a phone. So be careful. There are also cards which are different depending on what surface you play it on. So if it's wood, plastic, metal, glass, all have different abilities. If you don't fail to beat it, even with a team up, so you can ask for help, or try and bribe people to help you. If it doesn't, bad stuff happens. You do get a chance to run away. If you fail, you roll a dice. On a 5 and 6, you get away. On anything else, you fail. There are ways to modify the dice for good or for bad. Nick Fury's eye patch for one is you get -1 to a runaway, so you don't ever run away on a 6. If you fail to run away, you have to have the bad stuff. So skip your next turn. This one does, and they've all got different. But the bosses are just normally higher levels, but you get 2 levels and normally more treasure. So these are like monsters you get. You can get these into your hand, but we'll go through the turn order shortly. Also, there are these other types of cards which come straight into your hand. This one is like you get certain cards like this, where you can keep it until somebody's trying to beat a monster, then you can throw it at them. Like this one is give a monster +10. Normally it comes with good and bad points. So this one is you give the monster +10, but if the monster is defeated, you draw 2 extra treasure. There are some which doubles the treasure, for instance, but you played that one onto a single monster, not if there's 2 monsters, like it adds up. You specifically play cards to monsters or characters. A wandering monster means if you have got a monster in your hand and somebody's trying to face this monster, you can go, no, wandering monster, you've got another monster as well. There are ways to add extra monsters without using wandering monsters, but it's all normally on cards. And then the last card we will look at is a trap. You can draw a trap in front of you and it happens, or if somebody says has a trap in their hand, they can go here, have a trap, and it might say your next fight, but if they're in a fight, it does apply to that fight they're currently in. So there are different types of cards in the game. How the game works is you start off at level 1 and you've got to, first person get to level 10. Quite simple rules. In your turn you can play cards, rearrange cards. Then the first thing you do is knock on the door. So you draw a card in front of you. I'm running out of room, so I'll draw a card in front of me. If it's a monster, I have to face the monster. If it's any other type of card, I get to have it into my hand. So for instance, monster, then I'd have to read it and face it. If I win, I get the treasure and I draw from here. So this one is 1 treasure, so if I beat it, I get a level, because it's not a monster, and I get 1 treasure, which I can play or use if I want. If it's not, I play it into my hand, and if I wanted to, I can play it going. So if I didn't have any ranks out and I'm level 2, I can go, ooh, I'll play that, get stronger. If you get a monster at the start, you have to go straight to step 3, which is charity. So if you've got more than 5 cards in your hand and you've got a hand limit of 5, you have to give away your cards to the lowest rank. If there's a joint lowest rank, you get to pick which of the lowest ranks gets which cards and try and be more even if you can. If, however, you didn't get a monster and you did get something else which goes into your hand, you can got either 2 things. You can play a monster from your hand to face, or you can look for trouble. Give me 1 second. So look for trouble is play a card from your hand down. Loot the room is, instead of playing this face up here, you draw it straight into your hand. For instance, this one was the monster, so I don't play it in front of me, I can keep it. So I can keep it for if I want to fight it for look for trouble in a next turn, or I can keep it for when I have a wandering monster to throw against somebody else. So that is your action. So you've got phase 1, knock at the door to get you a card. Phase 2 is you can loot the room or look for trouble if you didn't fight a monster to start with. At the end, it's charity. When you do fight a monster for any reason, once you've thought you've beaten it, you have to give reasonable time, and we'll say 2.6 seconds, for somebody to play another card to stop you from classing it as being killed, to get your levels and to get your loot. Once you've done your levels and loot, everything's too late, move on. So that is roughly what it is, and you just keep going around until somebody gets to level 10 and you win the game. Please read all the cards carefully, because of different cards have different rules. So this one is you get +1 for every ring you are wearing, maximum of 10. So it's quite good. Some are, it gets harder, some are, it gets worse, harder or easier depending on what happens. It could be electronic devices on the table, it could be what you're playing on. Everything, there are little things which can make it better or worse, so please read the rules, because I had a friend who thought it was making it better for himself, when actually he doubled the strength of the monster he was facing, and it meant he couldn't fight the monster. When fighting a monster and you haven't got enough, like this one, you get level 18 and you haven't got enough to beat it, you can ask for help or bribe people to help you. What happens is you pick another person, you combine, you would have enough to win, and you can say, oh, so and so, please can you help me win this fight? I'll give you 2 treasures if you help me win. So it can be beneficial to ask for help, or it might be beneficial to help, because you get extra treasure. Please barter correctly and responsibly, because of, or make sure you get what you want from it. So it might be you get 2 treasures, but the player who's fighting the monster gets to pick which 2 treasure he gives you. You might go random 2 treasure, or you might go let's alternate it, so you pick one, I pick one, you pick one, I pick one. So you can barter for what you want in the contract as much as you want. For who goes first, you can pick any which way, shape or form you want to go first. There is a dice, so why don't you roll it? Highest person goes first. That is basically Munchkin in a summary. Any version of Munchkin plays the same other than Munchkin Quest, which does have its own set of rules because it's more like a board game than this card game is. So I hope you have enjoyed this episode tonight. Please stay tuned and please share and subscribe to this channel. And good night, see you soon.